So today we're going to be working on a pair of Red Wings. We got shipped in from Oklahoma. Here are the 8085s. Has the original 430 sole on there. We're going to be transforming it over to the 100 honey sole from Vibram. We're going to be adding a double leather midsole, get a little bit of structure, add a little bit of support to the shoe or to the boot. We're going to do a 3-ribbed steel shank for a little added support and arch support. And we're going to be adding some brass screws to it. So this is going to look like a totally different boot. I think it's going to look really cool. Can't wait to get started on it. So I thought I would show this real quick. This is a really good thing that I guess good cobblers should be doing. Not everyone does it, but when you're replacing the torque and the shank, if it needs it or whatnot, with these boots, it's always good to replace the torque, not only just to refresh it because it gets worn, it absorbs so much perspiration from your feet, but also it allows us to check out the dimming. So you can see here that it's just all loose. Even up through here, it's starting to come away. But this can misshapen, if you don't do anything about it, it can expand. You lose the structural integrity of the boot, just like a lot of not good things. So just wanted to show you that real quick. We'll clean the rest of this up, but that was something I wanted to at least point out so that when we get everything together, we want the resole to be as sound as possible. These types of leathers, this is actually one of the best things I like to use is black rock. It rejuvenates the colors. You can kind of just tell like right away the difference. Brings that leather in this boot right back to life. You can use your fingers with this stuff too. It's not like harmful or anything like that. I do that a lot, but not all the time. Looks real nice. I'm just gonna let it dry, and then we'll stitch. It's always good to do this type of stuff before you stitch, especially if you're using white stitches or anything like that, because then you don't have to worry about anything getting on it and disrupting the color. All right, let's stitch on. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Boy, that looks nice. Alright, we got the glue on our midsole and glue on our sole. So I like to just line it up at the toe. And just follow it down, try to center as best you can. Give it some good wax. Make sure everything is good. Alright, now it just needs to set and cure. And then once everything is all dry, then we can trim and sand. Alright, we got the sole on. We let it set so it's nice and secure. No gaps at all between the midsole and the sole, so it's nice and solid, bonded very well. Now what we're going to do is trimming the fat. So I generally like to start at the toe, especially because it's a little bit thicker piece with this type of sole. You just got to be careful because there's each cleat, it's thick and then it's thin. You can kind of, it's easy to pull it too quickly right after you get to the thin part. And then the knife can slip and then it can cut your finger or whatever. So you just gotta be careful. And especially with this type of sole, because it's a solid rubber, it's not really a blown rubber where there's a lot of air in it and it's softer. It doesn't grind or sand as easily, and it produces a lot of heat, especially if you don't have good sandpaper. If your sandpaper is dull, and what that can do, especially if you do it for too long in one spot, is it'll heat up the sole, and then the sole will separate from the midsole, and we don't want that. So whenever I cut these types of soles, I take a little bit more attention to trying to get them as close to perfect as I can, so there's minimal sanding, minimal heat that's put against this sole so that we don't have any bondage issues. I mean, that's the most important thing, because you don't want to do all this work and then all of a sudden the sole comes off and then you got to start over again. So that's why with these, try to get it as close as possible along the midsole and welt, so that you get a good bond after everything is all done. So we finished up these 8085 Red Wings. We upgraded the midsole to the thick leather midsole. I originally said a double leather midsole, but I misspoke on that. He also wanted a higher heel with the leather heel block, so we accommodated that. It was a good thing that we took everything apart because we were able to see that some of the gemming was starting to come away from the insole, so that was important to do. He also wanted the brass screws, which we put in right through there. You can kind of see the stitching just came out perfect in that white. Just really nice on these brown boots. I mean, it really pops. Conditioned the uppers. They turned out perfect. I mean, what more else can you say? He wanted the leather, the natural edge on these boots. A little bit of contrast, you know, with the sole, the midsole, and then the upper. Everything turned out really, really good. We'll be shipping these out today to them, and then just wait for more.